Tank customization has been available in Battlefield 5 for a couple of weeks now, and so far I've had a pretty good experience with it. You can customize both the turret and the chassis of every tank in the game. However, I do have some problems with it, and that is going to be the topic of today's video. My first problem, and I think that a lot of Battlefield 5 players can relate to this, are the prices. They are too high. I spend most of my company coins on specializations for my equipment, and I had to spend all company coin that I saved up before the 6.2 update just to get one chassis customization. Since company coins are easy to get, it is understandable that DICE would keep the prices at a reasonable amount. But come on, 8,500 company coins just for this, a fuel tank and a couple of extra tools added to the side. This would have been completely fine if the prices were low, but they aren't. It feels like DICE were expecting a lot of players to have crazy amounts of company coins just lying around. While this is probably true for some players, I don't think it's true for all of them. My next problem is kind of interlinked with my first one. A lot of the customizations just don't change the tanks in a meaningful way. In the end of the day, a lot of this comes down to personal preference and what kind of looks you want to add to your tank, but some of the customizations, mostly the uncommon and some of the rare ones, barely add anything to the tank, yet the prices are incredibly high. As I mentioned earlier, the infantry support dressing for the Valentine Mark 8 costs 8,500 company coins, and all it does is it adds a fuel tank and a box to the chassis. There are plenty more dressings like this that only add very little to the tank. The third major problem I have is that you have to buy turret and chassis customization separately, even if they belong to the same set. You'd think that since they belong to the same set, you'd unlock both of them when you buy one, but that's not the case in Battlefield 5. Say you would like to buy a rare customization set, including both the chassis and turret dressing to one of your tanks. You would then have to pay 31,000 company coins. 31,000! All these problems that I've mentioned combined just doesn't make buying a lot of the tank body customizations in the game a good choice, and that's too bad, because you can see that DICE really wanted to make a good system. But I still believe that most of these problems can be fixed if they just lower the prices of dressings that don't add much to the tank. They also need to give you the dressings for both the turret and the chassis when you purchase one part of the set. I really believe most of these problems are things that DICE can easily fix if they want to. I've mostly talked about company coins, but since they're not the only currency in Battlefield 5, that leaves us with another problem. Through data mines by Temporeal, we know that epic and legendary tank dressings are coming to the game. Most of them, if not all, will be available in the armory for boys. This will probably enrage some people, since the more special and unique dressings will be locked behind a paywall, but the epic camouflage dressings that we also know are coming could offer tactical advantages to players who paid for them with real money. This is not as big of a problem as the company coins pricing in my opinion, but I still think it's something to note. I think that the best thing would be if at least some of these camo dressings can be unlocked via the weekly Tides of War challenges. We've had nothing but tier skips for the last 3 weeks, and adding free dressings would most likely live off the players who have not done weeklies because of the lack of cosmetic rewards. It would also diminish the small pay to win problem if camos are not only locked behind paywalls. So that was pretty much it for me this time. I know it might sound like I'm only complaining and that I dislike the tank customization, but as I mentioned in the beginning, I'm quite happy with it. I just thought there were some important issues that needed to be brought up. I'm convinced DICE is able to fix these problems, but due to there being more important issues to be fixed and the slowing down development at DICE because of the current health crisis, I could totally see this being something that gets pushed aside or not done anything with at all. But anyway, thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like if you feel like I deserved it, and subscribe if you want me to make more of this content. Bye.